what you think Russell Wilson Jr. III's first ever job, paying job was. Paulie?
Paying job.
Paying job.
Caddy at a local golf course. He's down south, I think Virginia he grew up.
Richmond? Yeah.
Athletic family.
Yeah.
Possibly a nice neighborhood. I don't really know his background, but caddy at age 13, 14.
Seton?
I was going to say caddy, but we're not saying like a paper route or something like that, right?
First job where he was paid in any way officially paid, not like a lemonade stand.
Because delivering papers, that was a lot of people's first actual job. So just so I don't, I really wanted to say caddy, but I'll say delivering newspapers.
All right. McLovin, Russell Wilson's first job.
I'm going lifeguard, and that's where he developed like his confidence at the line of scrimmage. He's yelling at those kids, get out of the pool. That led to like him able to call plays in the NFL.
Okay. Yeah, Paul.
What if it's the Seahawks? What if we're all wrong and his first paying job was being the quarterback at the Seahawks? Like he just never.
Well, let's find out. Fritzy, do you have a...
I'm going to say he worked in a shoe store and like a Foot Locker or something like that.
Russell Wilson wearing the officials, the referees' jersey.
Yeah,
there?
I can see that. Why not?
All right. Joining us now is Russell Wilson, the Seahawks quarterback. First paying job was what, Russ?
First paying job. What's up, fellas? First paying job was actually babysitting. First paying job. That was like the first real thing. I mean, obviously mowing the lawn kind of thing, but whatever. But real job that I had consistently was actually babysitting for this family called the Wakas, and a family I'm really close with still today.
What was like when you worked for somebody else, like a business? Did you have any job, like a paycheck that you got?
Well, the first business I worked for, was probably, I'm trying to think. The first business, I worked at a little like baseball shop thing, where I got to teach lessons and everything else. That was kind of cool. So, babysitting, I would say the baseball lessons, and then I would say that first like real job was actually the Colorado Rockies when they drafted me.
Oh, nice.
That was the first real check.
Congratulations on the new check coming in, the new contract. Now, when do you get the first check from the new contract?
Oh man, I don't know. In a month or so, or a couple weeks, maybe even shorter than that.
Is it direct deposit?
Yeah, I do direct deposit.
Okay. All right. I think you should have one of those big checks. When the lottery winners, they hold up the big check. So you and Sierra, you're holding up that big check and letting people know that you're the highest paid player in the NFL.
I have my first check actually from when I signed. I have it somewhere. I got to find it, but I have it filed away somewhere from when I first signed with the Seahawks, and then I had the second one when I did the second deal. I have that pay stub, which is pretty cool. So, that's a good idea. I may have to save this one. I also have the contract that I actually signed from this time too, as well. So I've saved that as well. So those are like just cool little memories you have. And I'm actually not one to keep a bunch of stuff. I had my first touchdown pass ever. So win. So I did my first touchdown with Sydney Rice, and I won the first game.
Wait a minute. Move your phone a little bit there, Russ. You sound like you're underwater.
Can you hear me okay now? You hear me okay now?
There, right there.
That's okay.
Don't move.
But don't move. Okay, so what I was saying though is I had my first touchdown pass to Sydney Rice. I have that saved, and then I have my first NFL win ever against the Cowboys. I have that as well. A few other things as well, but I usually don't keep a bunch of stuff.
I remember being told this story that Pete Carroll was shooting hoops, and this is how you found out that you were going to be the starting quarterback with the Seahawks. Were you summoned outside, and Matt Flynn was going to be the starting quarterback, and Pete Carroll was shooting hoops by himself, and then told you then that you were going to be the starting quarterback? Is that true?
True story. He's actually shooting hoops on a parking lot. Like he's playing street ball. He's shooting threes and he's chewing his gum. He's shooting threes, crossing people up on his own with nobody in front of him. and he says, "Russ, come on out here." And so he had one of the equipment guys come get me, and I go outside. And he says, "Listen, you want to shoot some hoops?" And I said, "I'm all right, coach." He goes, "Hey, listen, I want to let you know that you're going to be the franchise quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, and you're going to be the starter." And I was just fired up. And he goes, "I know your dad would be proud of you.
No, that's
all
awesome.
the hard work and everything you've done." So, yeah, that's a memory I'll always forever remember.
I have a theory here, and it's when you went on Jimmy Fallon's show, And my theory is, the producer will always talk to you before you're going on to say, what do you want to talk about? Hey, Jimmy was going to ask you about this. I'm guessing, my theory is, you had a chance, either you or your agent, to say to Jimmy Fallon's producer, hey, why don't you bring up my contract, maybe bring up the Giants, me wanting to play here, stir it up a little bit, being the highest paid quarterback, player in the game. Am I onto something there, Russ?
I think, first of all, you and I didn't get to talk today, so I don't think that happens everywhere. I think, obviously that was part of the conversation that everybody wanted to talk about at that moment. I think that's I just told Maddie, listen, you guys can, ask, hey, do you want to talk about anything? I said, listen, I'm open book, whatever you guys want to talk about, let's have fun and enjoy it. And they didn't really bring that up in terms of the production space area, but. Okay. I think I think the thing is that what they really talked about is actually the fun drill we did. We actually did the throwing. That's really what we talked about the most. Kind of walked me through what we were going to do, and they had done that with Drew Brees and Brett Favre, and wanting to throw footballs at plates and food and all that. So that was actually awesome. And so we never actually physically walked through that part, but we actually talked about doing that. And they were wondering if I was up for it. I said, heck yeah, let's do it. So I was fired up about that.
There was a report, or at least there was speculation that you were going to maybe relocate or try to get out of Seattle and play for the Giants so your wife could have more opportunities in New York. Can you clear that up?
Yeah, I think this is part of, professional sports. There's always something, to talk about, especially in the offseason and everything else. Listen, we love Seattle. That's why we signed here. I wanted to be here forever. That was kind of the focal point. I think about guys like Derek, even though Michael Jordan didn't stay in one place for forever, he stayed in one place for a long time. Kobe Bryant, I look up to those type of players, and I want to be one of those type of players one day. So I just started looking and focus on what I could do in terms of training, getting ready, and then hopefully something would work out in Seattle. And the reality is part of this game is that players have to move. I think we all kind of forget that, even as a player, even as a fan and organization. That's the unfortunate part about this business, because you dedicate everything to your teammates, your city, everything else, and then sure enough, you have to move. Fortunately for me, I've been grateful to be in Seattle. It's a place that I love. It's a place where I know my kids going, lay their head down and go to sleep and go to school. It's a great place. So obviously, I love it here.
Well, congrats on the new contract. It's great, and we look forward to the upcoming season with what Seattle has in store, and you with that new contract. Thank you, Russ.
It's a pleasure, guys. Good talking to you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.
That's Russ Wilson. Fritzy's in his cone of silence now. We apologize because it's
now a punishment.
Well, I thought maybe he would talk to Russ, and that's why I brought down the cone of silence so he could talk to him and just say, hey, the phone connection wasn't great there. Yeah, Paul.
We got to call our people up at AT&T and get that guy a fresh celly.
Well, I don't know if he had the headset on, because he kept sort of fading in and out there.
I thought he's picked up a job as a court stenographer where they have the thing over their face when they're talking.
I think happens sometimes. I think I put a lot of thought into this over the years of our crappy phone lines.
Yeah.
I think that people are talking on their cell phone, and they are sort of doing this because they're home. They put it on their chin and their shoulder, and they're sort of at home talking like, doing stuff with their kids or whatever, and then this messes everything up. That's my theory.
Like their cheek gets over the microphone area. It actually blocks it.
Yeah. But it felt like he was moving. And then it was decent, and then it was really bad.
Yeah, because he's probably trying to get breakfast ready or something. He's got a bunch of papers that he's shuffling around or something, so he just does the chin-to-cheek thing with their phone.
Probably breakfast in bed with Sierra.
Which he should be.
Every morning.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Paul.
And we're sitting here thinking, after you asked the question about the Giants, during the part you couldn't hear, we'd be saying, you know what, Dan, I really wanted to be a New York Giant, but it didn't work out so well, so I'm going to play with this out the string here in Seattle. And we...
Yes, Todd.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes as the questions get a little more thought-provoking or controversial, all of a sudden it conveniently doesn't sound as clear, the responses.
Is it your fault or my fault?
I don't think it's either one of our faults, because I spoke with him before we put him on, as I always do, and during the duration of that time, it sounded fine.
People are saying Russell was in the cone of silence.
Yes.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV, stream for free on BR Live, or download the Dan Patrick Show app.